Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again, and I am here today to do a very impromptu food review. I got this earlier in the week, and I was kind of interested, because I was so weirded out that Benihana, of all places, had a frozen food item in the store. And I know my desk is messy, by the way, so don't mind my desk. I need to clean it up. I have a lot of shit to sort out. And yeah. But anyways, this meal is probably one of the first like frozen Chinese meals that I've ever had. Usually when I think of frozen food, I don't think Chinese food or even, Japanese food, because it's Japanese is right there in front of me. But like, you guys know what I mean. When you think of Asian cuisine, you think of fresh meat, fresh vegetables, which I'm having Chinese tonight. You don't think about frozen food. So I was really curious to try this. It looked really, really good on the picture, of course, and it looks like a really big portion. And that's one of the issues that I have because, spoiler alert, I already ate it. There's nothing inside there anymore. So, it's only 460 calories too, which is that's like two or three snacks combined. So that's one of my biggest complaints about this meal, was that I thought it was very lackluster. And for the price that you're paying, you're paying $5 for this meal, $5 to $6. And for that price, you could get a bag of chips, and you could have that bag of chips last for a whole week or two, or three even. And I think that that's better value. I think that they actually kind of, how would you say it? They kind of ripped you off with this frozen meal, because you have this picture here. It's this huge picture, but then when you get it, it's like maybe this much of the picture. So you think it's going to be this, and then it turns out to be like this. And there are some other things about it too that are kind of inaccurate. Like, for instance, they say that the meat is charred. This is charred steak. Or they say that on the ingredients. Where is it? Here, just so you can see the ingredients. See, seasoned, cooked, seared beef steak, dices, and cornstarch product. Okay. They do not do justice to how charred the steak is. All the steak pieces in this container have black edges. It kind of made me nervous because it kind of looked like, uh-oh, is this some kind of like mystery meat or something? Like, I don't know. Is it really steak? And then I started to eat it because I did want to try this out, and I wanted to have a nice lunch, and or at least a third of a lunch. And to my surprise, it had a decent taste. It was very flavorful. It had a lot of vegetables, a lot of pieces of meat, but for the amount that's in this package, it's not enough to constitute a meal. Only 460 calories. It's hardly anything. It feels like you're having leftovers from 2 nights ago, and the leftovers, there's hardly anything left, and you're basically just scraping the bottom of the barrel, when you could just go have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And so that's exactly what I did. After I had this very unsatisfying meal, I went and I got a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I got a banana. And that was a lot more satisfying than this. This was not a satisfying meal. It was also a little too sweet. Like, I know, there's different kind. I've never been to Benihana, and I know that there's different kinds of Asian cuisine and different kinds of like Asian dishes that, might be a little sweet or sour or spicy usually. But this was just a little too sweet for me. And if you look at the packaging too, there's a lot of caramel color added to this entire dish, which I think is kind of disturbing. You also have soybean oil, that's bad. Enriched wheat flour for the yakisoba noodles. Speaking of yakisoba noodles, the noodles were undercooked. So I put it in the microwave for the amount of time, which is like 3.5 minutes, but still the noodles tasted undercooked, and some of them, they were kind of harder to chew than others, and that was not good. I think that was kind of like, ugh, this is why it's just better to have, this meal at home. But overall, this wasn't horrible. I would never eat it again, though. But in comparison to a lot of the frozen meals that I've ever had, including the ones that I've had on this channel, I would say that this was one of the better ones. It was one of the better tasting ones. All the vegetables were cooked perfectly. I do wish there were some bigger chunks. There was only like 2 pieces of zucchini in mine, and the onion pieces were really, really tiny. They were not as big as they are on this picture, so that's false advertising. And, the sesame seeds you cannot see on top of it at all. I couldn't even tell that there were sesame seeds in the meal just from appearance. And I think that the big, big issue with this meal is not the taste. The taste is okay. Like, I kind of have a dislike for frozen meals, to be honest. Like, I don't like to eat frozen food anymore. I do like frozen pizza. Frozen pizza is different, but like, just regular frozen food, I really dislike eating that now. But the big, big issue is that you're only getting this much for $5 to $6. And I think they looked at this and it's like, look, steak is expensive. So they were like, how can we make a profit off of a steak meal, a steak frozen meal? We have to make a really small meal and then charge $5 to $6. Even then, it's kind of questionable, because it's like, really? You can make a profit off of that? It's kind of surprising that they just don't do like a chicken meal, like a chicken yakisoba or whatever, But and I will say too, again, I have never been to Benihana. I have been to other steakhouses. I've been to other restaurants too, like Japanese places where they cook the food in front of you, and I think that's like what this is inspired by. But I would give this meal a C plus, because for how good it tastes, it's like you're having leftovers. It has a decent taste. It's just not worth it for the money that you're spending. You could have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You could have chips and a vegetable. You could have a turkey sandwich. You could have soup and sandwich. You could have a salad even. You could have a number of things that would be so much more satisfying than spending all that, and then you get this tiny little serving right here. This tiny little serving, and you're like, okay, is this it? Is that all? So yeah, that's what I would give this. This was actually an okay meal. If it had the right amount of food, it would probably be like a B plus to an A minus frozen meal. So that really is what the main issue was for me. So overall, please like this video and comment, and please subscribe to our channel and check out our Patreon page. And that is it. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.